Alright my friends, how you all doing? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to some brand new content my friends. Yes, this is going to be an ongoing series using Planet Zoo basically, and this is my workshop series. I will get into that a bit more in a moment my friends, but yeah, if you're new to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It's really appreciated by your boy. Trust me, it's the best way to support me here. Also, you'll find loads of good stuff in the description box, like my Discord, which is a really good thing to come and follow and get involved with, because that is where the community stays up to date and has a lot of fun my friends. But yeah, let's get into the video and let's get into this brand new series, and let me inform you of exactly what it is. Now basically I get messages all the time, whether it be on Discord, whether it be in the comment section on YouTube, asking me if I can upload stuff to the workshop, the Steam workshop, so that people can use them in their zoo. Now the problem a lot of the stuff that I do is that it's part of a bigger project, and so trying to find all the small moving pieces that make up a building can be quite difficult sometimes. So what I've decided to do, ladies and gents, is create a series where I build stuff especially for you guys to use in your zoos, and plus we get to do the speed builds, which is something that people have been asking for a bit more on the channel, so they can learn and they can see how I do things as well. It was a really popular part of the Highland Zoo series, and I just really wanted to sort of bring it back to the channel. Another great thing about this is I can just do one-off items, one-off builds. They're a bit quicker, and you know, we can, you know, use the brain in a different way and use those creative juices once again. Now as you're going to see, the speed build is going on as I chirps away in the background, and we're making a dual tortoise habitat in today's episode, ladies and gents. And I hear you all ask, what exactly does that entail, Dan? Well, basically half and half for the tortoises. It's a sort of half moon shaped exhibit. We split it down the middle with a really clever wall, and the Aldabras live on one side, the Galapagos live on the other, and basically it just meets the needs of being able to see multiple animals, but they're still in separate habitats and you haven't got to go too far to do it. And it ends up coming out really nice, this build. I actually like it so much that I would consider using it in a future project. You know, should I do like another big build on Planet Zoo once Jammy Conservation Park's finished maybe. But yeah, I really hope you guys like the build, and I really hope that plenty of you go to the workshop and go and download it and use it in your zoos. And if you are one of the people that do that, make sure you take some pictures and you send them on Discord, or you send them in the community section on YouTube. It'd be really great to see you all using the items that I create in this series basically. Now I'm not just going to be creating habitats, I am going to be creating anything from backstage areas to restaurants to behind the scenes to you know, even smaller stuff like your, you know, information boards and that sort of stuff. And I'm going to be making it all available for you guys to use at home. Lots of people have basically been asking me, you know, to do tutorials and teach them how to do certain things, and also to, you know, start uploading, like I've already said, you know, to the workshop. And it's just difficult to find the time, but you know, if I've got 2 or 3 hours in my day where I can do a build and you guys can still sort of benefit from it, I think that's probably the best direction to go. For anyone that's still interested, real build time for this was just over 2 hours. I think it was something like 2 hours and 10 minutes, something along those lines, which for anybody that's been you know, a subscriber since day dot on this channel knows that's an unbelievable build time for me. I'm so finicky with my builds, especially as I do try to, you know, create stuff that's a bit more realistic. To be able to put something together in 2 hours is unheard of for me. It really is. And so not only does this, in my opinion, turn out a very pretty habitat, but I'm quite proud of this one because of how quick I put it together. I think it just goes to prove that you know, I really am starting to improve on Planet Zoo, especially with finding the items that I know work well in certain places. I think that's a big part of Planet Zoo. You know, finding pieces that work exactly how you need them to work, and also, you know, finding pieces and using them for stuff they're not supposed to be used for is a great way of bringing detail to a lot of buildings, in my opinion. But this is going to be a bit more of a realistic habitat. I'm just going to throw that out there now. So to get the best out of it, there are certain settings you're probably going to have to turn off. Their size is a little bit of an issue on the Aldabra tortoise side, and the reason for that is, in my opinion, certain animals in this game require way too much room, and the tortoises are, you know, two of those animals that just require far too much space. And so as a result, I've just tried to make it a bit more realistic, and I haven't really taken much notice of the spacing in the game. So yeah, if you want to get the best out of it, maybe tweak the settings ever so slightly, or just make it slightly bigger. You'll be able to do that quite easily, because those back walls can just be kind of pushed back, and then you can make it a little bigger should you need to. But let's talk about the speed build at the minute. As you can see, we kind of put the basics in. There's a nice wall there, you know, at the front, a nice sort of like circular wall. I wanted to make it a half moon sort of shape. Then we've gone with this nice, beautiful sort of jagged wall, just to bring a little bit of character to it, down the middle to split the two sections up. Then obviously hard shelter in the middle, separated with this concrete wall that goes all the way across the back. The main purpose for that was just to disguise the backstage area. You can do as you wish with that. You could put a gate on the end, either side, for your staff to be able to access the back, and so your guests can't get there. But I've just kind of made it easy so that if you guys do want to download it, it makes it really easy for you to separate your backstage, you know, from your sort of front of house, you know, from one another basically, and just making it a little easier. And so yeah, that's sort of the basics. I have put a keeper's hut in this enclosure as well. You know, that makes it a bit easier if you are going to download this and place it in your zoo. You haven't got to worry about all those little bits and bobs to make it work as well. Just put in some you know, sort of shaded sort of bits in the habitat for our tortoises here. You're just little sleeping dens that are on the outside, so they don't always feel like they have to go indoors. And then yeah, we really just plant this up, make it really, really pretty. It ends up quite dense towards the back and open at the front. That's kind of how majority of sort of exhibits are put together, so that guests do get to see the animals quite easily. And yeah, we just go with some really, really pretty planting basically, and that's it. It was pretty basic enclosure that ends up looking fantastic in my opinion, but I think a lot of that is just it's brought to life by the colours that I chose to use. I went with very sort of natural wooden tones, like your bamboo, like your wooden planks and stuff, quite nice and dark, but then the walls are a lighter sort of pastel shade of green and orange, and I just think that each element makes the other one pop. And you know, using green walls is something that zoos do. A lot of them will use go away green at the back of their habitats, and you'll find all different shades of this in you know, zoos in real life as well. I've decided to go with a slightly lighter shade of green, mainly because I use quite a dark shade of like tree. The trees that I choose to go with in this one are quite a nice darker shade, and so you know, that's why I've gone with that. You're going to see this gets a little weird now when I start to put this bedding down on the inside. I tried to cover it quite extensively, and for whatever reason it just edits the hell out of the ground, and I had to really try hard to sort this out and get it back to normal. But yeah, it didn't exactly work how I wanted it to work. That I've done that a million and one times in this game and never had that problem, but for whatever reason it wanted to give me some jip this time around. Maybe the ground just wasn't level underneath. But yeah, as you can see, we're just really putting the bedding in here. Not much else is needed on the indoors. I did think about going with sort of like a sandy ground on the bottom, because I know that zoos do that quite a bit with stuff like their tortoises. But you know, if it is concrete, it can be cleaned out easy, and that is something that, you know, a lot of zoos do. You're going to see I try to hide a lot of the enrichment items in the zoos. I even, you know, I make them green so they disappear in bushes and stuff, or try to hide them inside logs and whatnot, and you'll see that I do an okay job of that in the end, I think. And yeah, we're actually sort of virtually halfway through, I think, the speed build now, and yeah, you're really going to see all the smaller details sort of come together. I do have a bit of a strange build style. If you are new to the channel, I don't really concentrate on one area you know, at a time. Like I watch a lot of YouTubers, and the majority of them will put sort of like the perimeter of the habitat in first. You know, they'll get all that marked out, which to be fair I did this time, getting the walls in and getting the building in, and then they'll concentrate on, you know, the building, then they'll concentrate on the outdoors, whereas I kind of go all over the place. It's wherever my brain wants to go next. You'll see I have a lot of problem here with these doors. I was going to cut this out, but do you know what? I think it's good to leave this stuff in sometimes so that you guys can see that, even someone like myself, who I would consider myself quite a confident Planet Zoo player, has problems with the game and has problems placing stuff. But yeah, I tried all different things to get this to fit. In the end, it fit like a glove for some weird reason. But yeah, we did get them both in. They're very, very close. That does have to be said, and I think that's one of the big reasons why it was a bit of a chore to get them to fit. But I did get them in eventually. And they work perfectly as well with the habitat. You are going to see as well, you can sort of see a slight size difference even for the indoors, for the Galapagos and Aldabra. I thought there was a huge size difference in these two tortoises, but there really isn't. The Galapagos are a little bit taller, but the Aldabra do seem to require just as much space, basically. I've gone with obviously no fencing on this because we've got loads of walls in, nothing that the animals can get through. They're not climbers or anything like that either, so we don't have any worries there. And yeah, as you can see, two habitats from pretty much one wall around the edge, and yeah, it works like an absolute treat doing it like that. I've done this a couple of times before, but it never worked as easy as this, it does have to be said. And yeah, now you're just going to see little bits and bobs like ceilings being put on, roofs being planned, doors being put in. Like I say, I'm one of these people who really tries to go for realism, so I try to add all the bits that really need to be added to bring this the realty of it to life. I'm not really one for fantasy builds, but I do guess that I could probably go down that route a bit more with this series. Maybe I should try to take a step outside my comfort zone basically, and see what I could do for stuff that isn't as realistic. Maybe do a bit more theming. This is quite basic. I think this is the sort of thing you would potentially find in like a city zoo or something along those lines, which is something I'm really confident with. That's the sort of build that I'm confident with, and I guess that's why I chose to do this one first. But what I am going to do is I'm going to shut up right now, ladies and gents. I'm going to let you enjoy the rest of the speed build, and then we'll be back for a very brief section at the end where you can see the animals in the enclosure, and you can see it all in action and find out exactly how you can get your hands on this build. And so here you go, ladies and gents. This is the finished article. There isn't too much that's been added to this that you didn't see in the speed build. Probably just that little bit of curb that's on the pavement, the custom pavement that I made, and I think the information boards, they will all be part of the download on the workshop. I've included all that. I want you to basically, as it's seen, is exactly how you'll be able to download it, and then you can edit it at your will and at your pleasure, should you wish. The one thing I have noticed is that the food troughs are not working right. I'll move them before I save it, but yeah, I just wanted to show you this in action, basically, ladies and gents, before we sign out today's episode. So I am just gonna press that play button, and yeah, we can take a look at it. So the Aldabra tortoises are over this side. As you can see, we've just got the one guy in here. I did say during the course of the speed build that the sizing of this is probably a little bit off. It needed to be a lot bigger to basically you know, fit in with the game's settings and what the game wants you to do, but it wouldn't have been very realistic, and I wanted this to be a little bit more of a realistic build for you guys to use. So you know, feel free to sort of tweak the settings to make it work, so you can get the best out of it. You know, if you want more than one tortoise, you probably are going to need to do that. One will stay in here happily, but any more than that, you might need to tweak it a little bit. And then if we come over this side, you'll be able to see the Galapagos tortoise, and this side is ever so slightly bigger, not too much. Consciously, I did that because I knew the Galapagos tortoise was a bigger species anyway. As you can see, the food's been plopped here when really it should be there, and I think it's just that this isn't working. So yeah, that can be fixed easy enough. You know, just move it inside there. Boom, that's done. Lovely job. Now loads of stuff's kicking off because obviously I'm in a build, and let's get rid of that. This has all gone pear-shaped, this bit at the end. I didn't want any of that to be seen. And yeah, so let me know what you think in the comment section below, ladies and gents, what you make of this build. Let me know if you're going to use it as well. I'd be really fascinated to hear if you are going to be placing this one in your zoo. As well as that, the comment section is obviously built for you guys to give me feedback. Let me know if you've enjoyed this series, and if there's any ideas or any buildings you would like to see me you know, put together for you to be able to use. Absolutely anything can be put my way, and I will have a go at building it so that you guys have the pleasure of placing it in your zoo. I'd really like to learn, you know, as well, if watching the speed build has helped you get a few ideas on pieces to use, how to put stuff together, and maybe how to come up with some ideas. But my friends, just wanted to do this bit at the end, very, very short, so you could see it, you know, in action, all the moving pieces. But I do, as I've already said, hope you've enjoyed today's episode. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. If you've enjoyed, make sure you're dropping this video a like. Visit that description box. You will not only find the workshop link for this item, but you'll find stuff like my Discord, like my socials, things that I can't implore you enough to go and follow, especially the Discord. We're building such a lovely community over there. We're having a lot of fun, and obviously I am going to be doing a community project where you're going to be able to submit the stuff you've been building, and I'm going to be putting that on a you know, series that's going to be on the channel. I've already had one submitted to me that is just incredible, and I cannot wait to show you guys that. But there's also the link to my Patreon if you want to support this channel in any way, shape or form. You don't have to, but if you want to, it will just help me get one step closer to possibly doing this full time. But my friends, I'm done. I'm going to salute you. I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to say enjoy the rest of your day. And until next time, you stay extra. See you all later. Oh, yeah.